Hello, Dog Bedsit Blogger here, and I'm back from Benidorm. My septum piece is in, my hair is down, and I'm back in my bedsit. Luckily, sorry about that. Luckily, the weather has been pretty damn good when I've got back. I was thinking I was going to come back to early October England, which can be a bit grey and drizzly. Or more grey and drizzly than October, or well, than England normally is, but it's not been too bad, so that's good. I haven't been sort of like wandering around freezing cold, so that's good. So my thoughts on Benidorm. I've got lots of ideas in my head on what I think. I haven't really worked out how to express them. Benidorm is kind of like Blackpool with better weather and less of an angry, fighty kind of vibe. I think because Blackpool is in the north of England and it's a bit cold at times, even on really sunny days, people need to get warm somehow, so probably one of the best ways of getting warm is getting very drunk and having a fight. So that way you get physical contact and you get warmed up by the old but Benidorm, it's already quite pleasant and warm. The beer's fairly cheap. Not that I tried it. It was quite interesting going there because I was working. I wasn't able to drink any of the time I was there. And, you know, it is a town that is really, you know, all the entertainment is really based around come here, drink. Drink, 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 drink. Really. There was either karaoke or like sort of like kind of cabaret. You could go and see a different Elvis impersonator every hour, probably from about 7 o'clock at night through to quite possibly 7 in the morning. You could go and see a different Elvis impersonator at a different bar every hour, guaranteed. There was lots of, you know, there was sort of lots of the bars after 1 in the morning. They'd have a pole dancer instead of a singer, because I guess everyone was so pissed then that they wouldn't require singers, so it's a lot easier and it gets people to drink more if there's a bit of haulage. It was a very interesting experience. Part of it did make me feel like this is going to really. It made me feel like I am the snobby and middle class southerner that I am. I don't mean to be. I'm you know, I try not to be PC. Well, not necessarily PC. I try not to be snobby. I try to be as open-minded as possible, and where you come from, well, it doesn't matter, but it did seem that most of the people at Benidorm were from the north, and they wanted northern culture fun. And well, that's what they want. That's cool. We went to a couple of shows, and I'm not a huge fan of enforced fun, which is probably why I'm not a big fan about Christmas time and sort of like New Year's Eve and parties in general. If fun's going to come, it's going to come naturally. You can't force fun. And there was this kind of sort of thing of watching some of these people do sort of cover versions, which I also have issues about, but you know, I understand that the bar wants people to drink, and like, you don't want original new material, you want something that's comfortable, that you can just happily chat and drink to, rather than something you're thinking, oh, this is quite challenging, this is difficult, this is or this is new. You don't really want that if you want people to just turn over the money for drinks. Perhaps that's quite a bitter way to look at it, but I think that's the way they did. towards the end of watching some of these acts, you know, it was the end of the season, so like perhaps the rooms weren't quite as full and with people who were totally up for it as they could have been. But towards the end of the acts, when I was thinking, you know, this audience isn't good enough for you. You know, you're slogging your guts out and you're not getting a lot out of them, and you're still doing it with a smile. It's that crazy thing called show business. But at the same time, I'm very much I'm not a great fan of people who pander to the audience and give them what they want. Because, you know, if you give the masses what they want, they'll never progress. Does that make sense? Does that make me just... And it probably does make me sound a bit snobbish about that kind of thing. And it was just quite an interesting experience to go. You know, it's one of those things, maybe, you know, if I ever win the lottery or win some spare money or something like that, you know, it'd be quite interesting to go and experience it with drinking and not having to work. I don't think I'd be able to spend 2 weeks there, maybe a week at a stretch. It'd be good to have it as a base and then explore the surrounding area. The surrounding area, it looks really crazy. It's sort of like almost like a Western film. Sort of like dusty, hilly, mountainy, and dust, but also with a little twinge of a dilapidated factory feel about it. It's sort of like, looks natural but industrial at the same time, if you understand. You know, I don't know if anyone's seen cement factories. Cement factories have that kind of look of this weird dusty desert, natural but industrial thing. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts, my rambles about Benidorm. I hope that's illuminated you. Maybe it hasn't. I don't know. Who knows? A bit earlier today, I was on Blog TV with Dave01 the Couch Guy, 01 Dave the Couch Guy, and just chatting gibberish. It's all about the tap dancing nowadays. Tap tippity tap!